Welcome to GeekSpeak, the show that brings you unscripted, unrehearsed conversations with interesting geeks from around the world. My name is Scott Barber. Let's see who I find today. Okay, so I'm still here at Star West in the back corner of the vendor area. There's doing a little cleanup, so I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm here with Rosie Sherry, and Rosie is probably most well known for, probably more years ago than either of us want to admit now. You started an online community called Software Testing Club that it's grown crazy, and now you've got the Ministry of Testing going on with that. So how did that all come about? How did you go from, hey, I want to have a place where I can talk to some other testers to this, I don't know, this phenomenon almost?
Well, I don't know if I call it that, but yes, it's been 6 years now.
Wow.
And I started it because I wanted somewhere to hang out online with other testers, and I just didn't feel like there was a quality place to do that. Everywhere else was not maintained to a friendly standard. So
Right.
I did start it as a side project. I didn't think it would go anywhere, but I just kept at it and kept maintaining it to the standards that I believed it should have.
Right.
Moderating it closely and not allowing certain things like bad questions to be asked, or not intelligent questions. I wanted it to be a really professional place to hang out, and
Right.
I believe that you have to create that community, that space, by having those standards. So like attracts like.
Right.
And I think by doing that, it's attracted people, and it's attracted some of the best people in the testing world, and it's not an overnight success. It's been 6 years, but it has kind of become the place for testers to hang out with it in that professional way.
Yeah, and you've got quite an archive of some fabulous content, articles and checklists and mind maps. You got some of the most crazy mind maps up there. They're fabulous. But these are all I'm sure inspired or requested or whatever by you or your core members. But this is all volunteer contributed stuff, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a variety. A lot of it is volunteer led. I tend to start a lot of forum posts to get ideas, or I take ideas from forum posts that happen. I'm doing a bit of work with SmartBear to create the checklists, but that's community driven, so I'm very much taking the ideas from the community, because I think that's important.
It is, because
relevant.
Well, as you know, there's a very large segment of the tester community that says, you know what, experience is where the lessons come from, right? And the community is where the experience is. And there are so many fabulous testers out there who, for the most part, right, they go to work, they do their job, they do an excellent job, and they don't get a chance to get out and intermingle in a conference like this. So online is the place where they can share their stories, and you're giving them an opportunity to do that, not just for their own sake, but so the rest of us can value from their experiences as well.
Yeah. So I'd really like to build up everything we're doing to create useful resources, and I'm very much taking the lead from the community members and trying to figure out topics that are important and relevant, and building all that information up and trying to keep it current and relevant and maintainable. And it's
takes a couple minutes a year.
Yeah.
Or three. So you also do this event called Test Bash. For anybody who hasn't heard about Test Bash, tell us a little bit about Test Bash.
Quite simply, it's a one-day conference, and we've got some things built around it. We've got some training courses built around it as well. But the idea for me is that I felt, especially in the UK, there wasn't a lot going on for testers, and I wanted to do kind of like an annual gathering with a focus on a professional learning opportunity. But there's a big focus on it being quite social. Last year we had 200 people show up
in
Brighton.
Wow!
By the sea. It snowed the day after the day.
No way!
Yeah, March the day before there was a meetup in the morning. One of the speakers organised a run in the morning at 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Yeah, not
Testers
me.
showed up for that.
That's insane. I haven't done that in, showing my age, 20 years. But
it's crazy.
Yeah.
There was a noon coffee in the morning. I think there were 40 testers who showed up for that.
Well, I think it just shows how social testers really are. We don't think of it that way, right? Because these are the people who sometimes talk to each other, and they work in their office. They bring bad news, right?
Yeah.
They always seem kind of down because, I mean, how long can you bring bad news before you just? But you put a bunch of testers together and you realize they're totally social.
Especially if you create the right environment.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what I do that perhaps other companies don't, or what other people don't, is there's a big focus on the people, and everything to me is about the people creating the best experience that I have. And quite often it means that I have to say no to a lot of things to make that happen. And I think that's what people like.
Sure. And the nice thing is that there's so many different places that people can go if your culture, right, the culture that you've created isn't a good fit for them. You know what? They have other options. So it's not like you're being excluded from the testing world, right? But just like when I talk to people, I talk about agile being a culture. It's not a process. It's not a method. It's a culture, right? And for folks that have been in testing for a while, they know that we have different cultures, different people gravitate towards different things. I mean, I could call performance testing a subculture. We're weird in a totally different way, but it really is. If you get the time, the opportunity in a comfortable environment to spend time with like-minded people, good things are going to happen, right? So that's fabulous. Well, hey, thank you for all your work with that. And thank you for your time today. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Looking forward to running into you again next time.
Yeah. Test batch next year, right?
Hope so. All right.
Well, that's it for this episode of GeekSpeak. I hope you'll join us next time. In the meantime, this is Scott Barber, hoping that you have plenty of GeekSpeak.